Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to SOS. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and I'm looking forward to taking you on a transformational journey as I save one bedroom at a time. Tonight, I am so excited for what we will be discussing this evening. I have told you, I have prepped you, I have gotten you pumped up and ready to go and excited about this evening. So I hope you got your notepads out, your journal books, or whatever it is that you take notes in so that you can get some good information to be able to share with your spouse or your significant other. Hey, Vashawn. Hi, Shalise. Hi, JG. Hello, Miss Kathy. Welcome. You guys, I'm so looking forward to all of the different topics that we'll be talking about, but I'm especially excited about this one tonight because many times this is something that we skip over, that we want to rush through. We don't want to take our time because we're trying to get to the main event. I don't know about you, but when you go to a restaurant, I order appetizers. A lot of times I get full off of the appetizers before I even get to my main course. And so that is one of the things that we're talking about tonight, the appetizers, everybody, the things that you get before the main course. We are talking about foreplay. We're talking about before we play, what we need to do to lead up to it. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for joining. And all of you there, go ahead and check in. Let me know where you're checking in from. Hi, Mrs. Carter. Let me know where you're checking in from. And again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. So previously, we were talking about reasons why wives might say no to sex. And then we pivoted to the fellas and we said, there are certain reasons why men might say no to sex. And so what we're wanting to do now is give you the tips and tools and strategies that you need where hopefully you never hear no again. Did I say yes? Men say yes. I meant why men say no. So that's where I'm trying to get to, everybody. I want people to say yes and not no. So I just want to say that foreplay is for everyone. It is not just for one person who is in the family, the couple, right? It literally is for both parties. So I'm going to give you guys first and foremost the reasons why foreplay is so important, why it's beneficial, and then I'll give you some tips. Okay? Buckle up. Okay, so the first reason why foreplay is beneficial, why it's important, is because it actually helps to prepare the body and the mind for sex. Believe it or not, sex is physical, of course, but most of it is mental. It's what happens in your head, which will initiate a physiological response. So, if we're able to engage in some foreplay before we get the party started by stimulating the mind, that happens outside the bedroom. Stimulating the body happens inside of the bedroom. So, your physical response to being around during foreplay just creates this huge rush directly to the genitals. Foreplay in and of itself is a negotiation, because what are we negotiating? We're negotiating the levels of intimacy, eroticism, meaning, and emotional connection, or lack thereof, and what comes next. So foreplay is extremely important, again, to get the mind and the body prepared for sex. Another benefit and why it's important is because foreplay is going to create a more pleasurable experience. And there have been so many studies done regarding foreplay. Science has shown us that a build up to intercourse can actually lead to longer and better orgasms. So, why would you not want to engage in foreplay if you can intensify your orgasm and make your time together last even longer? So, in this study that was done, it was published in the Journal of Sex Research. Both sexes, men and women, that's who were tested, reported that their orgasms were more pleasurable when there was a greater buildup of sexual arousal and desire beforehand. Another part of that research determined that the more diverse the sexual acts or practices were that were included in foreplay, the longer they lasted, the longer the sexual encounters lasted. So, again, it leads to even more pleasurable sex, also a harder erection, more lubrication, ultimately, a more pleasurable experience. Okay, the next benefit of foreplay is that it helps to maintain physical and emotional intimacy. So I know when you're thinking about foreplay, the main thing is we're thinking about obviously the physical aspects, but it also helps to increase your emotional connection with your partner. We know that over time, when life gets in the way with kids, work, stress, finances, whatever it is, being able to maintain a healthy connection and intimacy with our spouse is really, really important. And foreplay actually helps to do that. And it's especially important for long term relationships. So, if you are in a position where you are feeling a disconnect from your partner, increase your foreplay because it helps you connect again, not only physically, but it helps you to connect emotionally. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you're being selfless when you are actually trying to please your partner and you are not focused on your own individual needs, but you're focused on the needs of your spouse, which is extremely important for letting them know that they care, they matter, that their needs, wants, wishes, desires are just as important to you as their own. Okay, so it helps to maintain your physical and emotional connection. Okay, so the next benefit of foreplay is that it is, well, actually, this is not a benefit in the way that it's wording, but I do want to say that foreplay is a team effort. And so now let me lead you to the benefit part. The benefit part is that if we're on a team and we're both doing our part, we both win. That's the benefit. We both actually win. It's not for one person to always be the one that's focused on improving their foreplay abilities. Both parties should be doing that. And part of your work as a teammate is to know how to turn your partner on. But guess what? Your part as the other teammate is to know yourself what turns you on. So you have to know, again, what it is that turns you on, and how you do that is that you have to have an understanding of your own body, your own anatomy, your chemistry, your physiology, in order to enjoy sex. So if you don't know for yourself, it's going to be very difficult for your partner to be able to know what it is that turns you on or what stimulates you. So you have to get to know yourself. And both of you have to be open to discovering what you like and what you like hearing that the other person likes also, because everyone has different preferences. So, team effort. Also, it means giving and receiving, not just giving, not just receiving. Gotta be both. Gotta be both. Okay, so I want to stress to you also in this same vein of teamwork and foreplay being a team effort, some of the pieces that get missing when we're talking about sex is communication. One of the pieces is communication. And I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about communication. I'm going to continue talking about communication because it's extremely important. And this is one of those areas where for sure you have to communicate. So, some of the best ways to communicate your wants with your partner during sex is through sounds and through body language. The way that you move, the way that you respond verbally when you're engaging in any type of sexual activity. Because what you do not want to do is engage in a lecture mid session. You do not want to do that. So we have to find ways to communicate effectively and efficiently. And you have to let your partner know if you are being satisfied when you are being satisfied. Don't just lay there, participate. Don't be silent, verbalize. And if you're not comfortable, you're not there yet, that doesn't work, then you talk to them about the sexual encounter later at a non threatening time and make sure to pile on more compliments than you do criticisms. Because the last thing you want to do is make your partner feel insufficient, inadequate, or have them questioning their ability to satisfy you. That causes them to lose their confidence and they may shut down and avoid putting forth the effort to try to please you. And they may just then turn to pleasing themselves, or they may stop having sex with you altogether. We definitely don't want that. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to get into how we go about engaging in foreplay. All right. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. But I look forward to seeing you on the other side of this so we can go into some tips and strategies. All right. Stay tuned. You are watching SOS. Hello. I just want to welcome the new persons who've joined us. Hi, LaKeesha. Love your name. I wonder why. Hi, Gorgeous Wells. Hi, Shalise. Hello, Mrs. Davis. I just want to say thank you all for joining, and you came at the right time because I'm actually trying to teach you how to do just that. All right, so I want to talk about how you actually engage in foreplay. Obviously, there are many different ways, but I'm going to walk you through the 5 T's of foreplay. The 5 T's of foreplay. The first one is talk. Okay, so dirty talk specifically. Now, it might actually be embarrassing describing what you want or what you're going to do to your partner. But honestly, when you do like explain or share or describe what you're going to do to your partner, it can be extremely erotic. So you want to be as graphic as you possibly can. Tell them just how much it's going to excite you to do all the things that you want. But if you're not comfortable there, then you might want to make it a little bit more interesting. You can actually go old school and do it through the phone. Yes, old school sexting is fantastic when it comes to arousing your partner from afar. It builds up anticipation. You could be in the same house or you could be at the office. The anticipation will actually drive them wild. Some other things you can do: put sticky notes in their work bag if they're leaving the house to go to work. You can put a sticky note on their laptop screen, so when they open their computer, there's a little sexy note from you. You can put it in the driver's seat of the car that they drive so they see it as soon as they get in the car on their way to work. You can put it on the bathroom mirror. Many places you can put it. And if there are no children in the house, or if there are little children who can't read, then you actually can post them around the house. But just building up that excitement, that anticipation can work wonders for what happens later on, when you guys are able to come together in the evening. So, first one, talk. It could be dirty talk, verbal, or it could be written on paper, on the computer through an email, long as it's not your work computer, or a text message. All right. So the second T is temperature. Okay. So temperature really is about setting the mood. There's nothing more erotic than the perfect scene to get down and dirty to. So it could be the flattering light of candles, it could be petals across the room or on the bed, just the way you imagine your first time. It could be loads of playlists on your phone where you connect to a Bluetooth speaker so you have surround sound in the room. That right song could just make your partner want to dive right in. You could dance, or you could even do a strip tease to the right music, but it's all about that electricity from your bodies brushing together that actually might ignite a fire. The next part of temperature is to not make it too cold or too hot. Or you could make it warm in the room intentionally and play with some ice to cool each other off. So, temperature is extremely important again for setting the mood. All right. So, the third T, touch. Touch, touch, touch. So it doesn't always have to be the genitals. When we're thinking about foreplay, a lot of times many of us will go straight for the genitals, but your body is a whole playground, and there are so many places that we like to be touched when we're in the mood. So you have to find your partner's erogenous zones and pay special attention to them. This goes back to the team effort, right? With everybody doing their individual part to know what satisfies them, to know what's pleasurable for them, so that they can then educate and share with their spouse. Now, if you're in the mood to spoil and tease your partner, you might want to get some oils and use them to give your partner a massage, focusing on the erogenous zones. You could also incorporate a sexy spread with strawberries and cream or chocolate or both. And you can include eating off of each other as a form of play. So, touch, extremely important. Don't just focus on the genitals. Again, there's so many other areas where you can focus. All right, number 4, toys. All right. Let me say, not all toys are just for penetration, right? We know that the market is saturated with toys that are aimed at pleasure for different parts of the body. Vibrators are just one of the few versatile toys that can stimulate all erogenous zones. But if toys aren't for you, then you can use things like feathers, which can help stimulate your partner's senses and get them heated up. Sex swings, paddles, restraints, from ropes to handcuffs to things that you find around the house like neckties or kitchen utensils like forks. But you definitely want to use different things to stimulate different areas of the body. And if you're not sure what does it for you, then just try, experiment, play around with different things until you find what it is that you like. And if you're really struggling in that area, reach out. I'll help you out. Book a session. Um, so let's see. There was something else I wanted to. Oh, yes. So when I talked about vibrators again, most time we're thinking about like penises, right? As vibrators, but there's so many other types of vibrators that are used for clitoral stimulation, that are used to stimulate the breast area. I mean, suction type things for men. There's so many things out there. So one of your date night experiences could be visiting a store, an adult store, where you can check out different types of toys, vibrators, apparatuses, wedges, tables, all different types of chairs. There's so much out there. And you guys going together will allow each one of you to have weigh in on the things that you might be interested in trying. So I highly recommend, if you're at this place where you're feeling comfortable enough to explore with your partner, or even if you're not, take a risk, right? You might be scared, but do it scared anyway, as long as you're in a healthy place with your partner. Okay, number 5, tasting. Okay, so specifically what we're referring to is oral sex, but that's not all. But that's immediately where the mind goes to, right? Oral sex. So when you're using your mouth, especially your tongue, to elicit pleasure on your partner, it is a common way to experiment with foreplay. Most times, you have people who may not be as comfortable and they're not as secure, or not as confident in their performance. Then you definitely want to communicate with your spouse what you like, what's pleasurable for you, what might be uncomfortable for you, what works, what doesn't work. But typically for ladies, focusing on the clitoral hood above the clitoris is good for them. And with men, the frenulum, where the penis shaft actually meets the head, are great focus points for oral stimulation. And while your mouth is busy, you can actually use your hands to stimulate other areas for added pleasure. And if protection is necessary, then you can use a variety of condoms and dental dams that can help assist with that. Now, again, oral sex, typically when we mention taste, is typically where everybody goes. But I do want to talk about the loss part of foreplay regarding the mouth, and that's kissing. I cannot stress to you guys enough the importance of kissing. Kissing actually reduces stress and it increases social bonding. It decreases our cortisol levels. And if you're familiar with cortisol at all, it's actually toxic to our bodies. So if I'm saying to you that stress releases cortisol and kissing reduces stress, that ultimately decreases our cortisol levels. So kiss. At one time or another, we all may have experienced the good kiss, and we may be all too familiar with the bad kiss. The good kiss is soft, but it's electric. It's kisses of passion. It might be a breathy kiss of tasting and smelling each other's bodies. It could be a gentle bite on the lip from someone begging to be devoured. And then there's the bad kiss, where there's a mushy, limp kiss of just passivity and withheld eroticism. There's the perfunctory kiss on the way to the office. Okay, bye, see you later. It could be the sloppy, soupy, wet kiss that actually triggers anger rather than desire. There's the rigid tongue kiss of like the mechanical lover. There's the smothering kiss. Oh my goodness, this is the one that I think really, really, really gets us in trouble. The smothering kiss that reminds you of a parent. You definitely don't want that when we're trying to engage in foreplay. And then the last example of a bad kiss would be the impatient kiss of someone that is preoccupied with other things, where they're just literally kissing to, it's like, hurry up, come on, get stimulated so we can get the party started. But it's not passionate, it's not deep, it's not electric, right? So you want to make sure that you're focusing more on the good kisses. And kissing is different for everybody. Everybody doesn't like the same type of kiss. So you want to talk to your partner about what works for them. Okay. So the last thing before we go, and I'm definitely going to try to get to some questions that I see in the chat. But the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, knowing when it's time for intercourse, like you've engaged in foreplay. And so, how do we know when it's time? Because many, many times, you'll think just because you see an erection or there's vaginal lubrication that you're like, okay, green light, where all systems go. That's not always the case. So some signs to look for are, if they seem really impatient, they're antsy and fidgety and like squirming, can't stay still. Sometimes it's when one partner touches the other person's genitals for a while. Um, it could be when the man actually gets an erection and he's like afraid that he's actually going to release, like, it's time. Or if like it was hot and steamy in the beginning, your foreplay was, and now it's kind of like fading. All right, we need to move on to something else. And then if you're in a place where one feels like they just want to get it over with, we need to switch it up and we need to do something else. Okay. And then obviously, when you get really, really comfortable with each other, you can ask, okay, are you ready? Green light or red light? We at yellow light. Where are we? You can have a conversation about it and be open and honest. If you're ready, say you're ready. If you're not, say no, I need a little bit more. Okay. So, um, oh, I see that question. Okay. So the 5 T's again: talk, temperature, touch, toys, and tasting. And tasting had to do with oral sex and kissing. Alrighty, so I just want to look now at some of your comments and questions. Legendary Lady said yes for the appetizers. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. JG has a question. After infidelity from my husband and deciding to work on the marriage, should I be the one initiating sex? Okay. So basically, your husband was the unfaithful, but you decided to work on the marriage. Should you be the one initiating? Should you be the only one? No. Both of you should be initiating. And I'm so happy for your question, because a lot of times the betrayed does feel like you should be the one that's working to make me feel confident, working to make me feel secure. You should be the one that's making the majority of the effort. But in actuality, we both have work to do. And so my answer is you both should be initiating. It should not be all on you. It should not be all on him. You guys both should be initiating. Okay, so Gorgeous Well says, what if your spouse never engages in foreplay, then recently he's interested in it? Ask what changed, what happened. Um, Ask. Don't assume. Never, 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 never assume. Okay. Let's see where. Thank you, Kathy. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Exactly. Exactly. So, you guys, I hope you actually have gotten something out of this session tonight. I want you to go back over, because it will be available tomorrow morning. If you missed anything tonight, and that was so funny. Okay. If you miss anything tonight, it will be available on tomorrow morning. And so if you miss anything, please watch it again. Please share. Please like, share, subscribe. Again, if you are struggling in this area, please reach out to Couples Academy, and we definitely will book a session for you, and we can have some one-on-one private time so that we can hopefully help you to deal with whatever issues you are having and be able to navigate through whatever issues that you might be having. Okay. So again, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. And don't forget, every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, I am here available to you, saving bedrooms one at a time. Thank you guys.